goes inside. And so McEnroe has been forewarned the first point of the match that he's going to have to tread lightly when coming to the net. The important thing here now, Howard, is that he can't let that one passing shot deter him. He's got to come in no matter what, but pick the right shot.
Has to stick to his game and his game plan, the manner in which he's most effective.
It's an ace. Touche.
Rather the way to answer back.
Just as you were saying, Howard, McEnroe has such a wide assortment of shots, he can do anything.
The best diversification of strokes in tennis today. And maybe of all time.
Yeah, except
Billy Talbot has said that often.
Rod Laver could do quite a bit with the racket.
Against you especially.
Yes. Certainly did. Well, John is certainly serving well, no question about that, this first game. And the first game is sometimes an indication of how he's going to serve the rest of the match. 2 out of 3 sets here.
And very quickly, after the first game, McEnroe leading 1-0. Lendl knows it's a different day from yesterday, a different opponent. Be as compelling in his serve against McEnroe as it was against Connors. Arthur?
Well, we'll see. A little tentative there. Lendl does not want to go to the net unless he's drawn up, except when he comes up just to change pace every once in a while. Just inside. He's got the range. Love 30.
Now, earlier we had shown you a mistaken graphic. Didn't want to interrupt the play to correct it. There is the corrected graphic. McEnroe disposing of Arias with ridiculous ease.
It was pretty easy.
Against so bright a young player as Arias.
Yes. Lendl here seems to be going for too big a shot from behind the baseline, something Connors did yesterday. Got to that one and made a pretty good short shot of it. The wind, Howard, here now is a factor. As we watch that shot again, McEnroe getting to that wide forehand, but can't quite contain it. It flies beyond the baseline.
Breeze seems to be gusting up.
Yes, it's definitely blowing from Lendl's back toward McEnroe. So balls are going to fall short here on Lendl's side of the court. I hope Lendl realizes that and steps in on this side. Threaded the needle again, scores deuce. As I said earlier, McEnroe will have to pick his approach shots with care. He's going to get past, but he's just got to keep coming up.
Obviously, he's going to get past, but he made it clear he wouldn't change his tactics in the very first game. I've never seen him so eager to get at Lendl.
Yes, very eager. Well, he wants to establish his clay court credentials. Right down the middle.
We saw John remonstrate with himself as we look at it again in slow motion.
And there you're looking at the biggest forehand in the sport, period. That went right down the middle. Even as quick as John McEnroe is, couldn't get it back. And he's even things up here in this first set, 1-all.
And a very important game for Ivan as you look at the overhead again in slow-mo. There it is, marvelously placed, because he faced a break situation and rose above it.
Yes.
Needed that for his confidence.
Yes, he did. Very important, being down 15-40 especially. McEnroe now serving into the sun a little bit and against the wind.
As the series record. It's a proper call. Wasn't fault. McEnroe had 4 double faults yesterday, but he overcame that with some brilliant service aces.
Had about 6 aces yesterday. Still 4 double faults is too many for McEnroe.
Mm-hmm.
They only played 15 games.
Really gusting up now.
Yes, and McEnroe does not like to play in the wind. You see the flags fluttering in the breeze there. And no particular direction, but here on the court it still looks as though it's going mostly from the south toward the north. That's an ace.
30-15.
As we watch McEnroe serve his 3rd ace of this match, not more than 2 games old. Oh, he got his racket on it, but couldn't quite get it back over. With that semi-western grip that Lendl uses for this shot, if we watch it again, he can go any place with that backhand pass. Lendl just gets to it, winds up. McEnroe doesn't know where it's going, has to decide at the last minute, can't quite get it over.
But a marvelous get by Lendl, showing his all-court coverage.
Well, he's a great athlete, Howard, no question about it.
Waiting on the plane going overhead, as Arthur noted yesterday, right in the path of planes coming from both LaGuardia and Kennedy airports.
Going to Lendl's backhand, that's going to be his bread and butter passing shot area of the court. Not going to come to Lendl's forehand too often on an approach shot. Almost decapitated the center service linesman on that one.
point on the court where he felt that Lendl hit it out.
I think all those line calls were pretty good, though. Yes, he probably thought one was a bit out, but he's not making a big issue of it, so probably just frustrated because he didn't win the point.
So we're at deuce. Game started 1-1. Third game, first set.
There's his father sitting directly behind him with the green pants on that side of the court.
It's Mother's Day, not St. Patrick's Day.
Right. Oh, his mother's here, too, and his coach, Antonio Palafox, former Mexican Davis Cup player.
Great doubles player.
Oh, and that's a great volley. I'm amazed myself, even having been an ex-player, how McEnroe can hit volleys like that from seemingly just unbelievable positions. No one else could volley like he does. He stands up. He doesn't bend down, which is what the book said you're supposed to do.
Well, haven't you tried to change him? You're his coach.
No, well, no one's going to change him. You're looking at genius here.
Well said. Now there, McEnroe is really angry with himself because he felt he should have put that away.
Yes, but you don't have firm footing on this clay surface here. It's very slippery. Balance is very important.
Different from the concrete at the U.S. Tennis Center.
Yes, and he's not getting the same response today that he got yesterday. Pick his shots a bit more carefully. But he's not going to change his tactics.
Advantage McEnroe.
So you watch that service again. Topspin forehand by Lendl and a easy backhand volley by McEnroe.
Flags really waving in what is now a very strong breeze. So John McEnroe, with some degree of difficulty, holds service, leads 2 games to 1 here on Mother's Day in Forest Hills, New York. We'll be right back. Steve Young against the best team in the league at the moment, the Philadelphia Stars, and Kelvin Bryant, brilliant running back. Also, Michigan Panthers against the New Orleans Breakers. That means last year's champions against young Marcus Dupree and the very solid New Orleans team. Coming up next. Back to tennis, Arthur.
Ushers, please hold them at the gates until the next changeover game.
Trying to get the crowd settled in back of Lendl there.
A lot of traffic, late arriving crowd, sold out house.
That's 2 errant forehands in a row as John berates himself. That's John McEnroe Sr., lawyer here in New York City. Now, John inside the baseline is thinking about chipping and coming in, possibly. I think he would have if that return had gone in.
I thought he had himself off balance with his anticipation and looking forward to coming in.
Bit anxious. He's really not that sure of himself on clay against very good opponents who are playing well. That's a second service ace. Very rare on the clay court between 2 good players, and McEnroe actually breaks a little smile as we watch Lendl in that second serve. Decided to go for it.
The thing about McEnroe is he will remonstrate with himself. He will look angry. He will look frustrated at times. But deep inside, he loves the battle, enjoys
He
it.
does. He does. He likes doing battle. Just wide.
15 love.
When he can execute those sharply angled precision shots.
Like
that's
no
when-
one else.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
when McEnroe is at his best.
Well, he won't be able to do it quite as well today as he would on a faster court with firmer footing. It looked good from here.
Fault. I don't believe that.
John's just taking a peek.
John doesn't believe it either.
However,
I don't blame him. Some whistles from the crowd.
we watch that again, and it... Ooh, looked good to me, but however, ancient history. That's gonna... Now there was a great example, Howard, of
the wind. Wind
Yes, I was
keeping
telling
it
you,
in.
This side, this where McEnroe is now, the wind's gonna keep those balls in. Something Lendl had problems with 2 games ago.
But Yvonne knew what he was doing. He was well aware of the wind. When he lifted that lob, it was destined to be out of court, but no, kept back in.
Very nicely done by McEnroe. Chip backhand down the line, came in and put the backhand volley cross-court winner. We watched that very short, compact backswing down the line, perfectly executed. Backhand cross-court, up on his toes. Very unorthodox, but who am I to say? Boys and girls out there, don't do what he does. Very difficult.
Unless you can do it his way.
Yes, again, a cross-court half volley drop shot. John puts himself in the position of having to guess as we watch this again. Half volley here, cross-court, now he has to guess. He's stuck in the middle.
And John knew what he had done.
Yes. Very good return of serve by Lendl. He said to himself, that's way too low. But in the wind, that's what one tends to do, toss the ball a bit lower. So the ball's in the air, less time.
30-40.
Second double
Second
fault.
double fault, and
Now here was a point right here, Howard, where I think Lendl could gain an advantage in some of the matches he plays. Most other players would take a chance and chip a second serve and come in. Lendl won't do it, even if John misses the first serve.
First serve.
He'll just be content to get the ball in, start the point.
meantime,
So he basically gives McEnroe a chance, a free shot at a second serve with no pressure.
and it's break point now.
Yes, this would be an ideal time for Lendl to chip a second serve and come in. He may get aced right here, though. All right, let's see what Lendl does. Oh, that was well done. And in his best Czechoslovakian, Lendl said, darn it. Hi, Mom, in West Palm.
Had me worried for a minute.
I don't know the Czech translation of that term.
John's going to make sure of this one. No.
Oh.
Badly hit.
Yes. I detected something else, Howard, in the last time when John was serving to Lendl when he was down break point. On the second serve, he served the ball down the middle. That is, he jammed him, as we use the term in tennis, rather than going to one wing or the other. And it worked very effectively because Lendl had to back up and sort of contort himself to get the ball back. He didn't go wide like most people would.
Second break point.
That's an ace.
And there's an ace. What you've seen so many times before. Responsive to the worst kind of pressure. McEnroe coming through with his 4th service ace of the match. And we are tied at 2 games apiece. Back to deuce.
I'm not sure what he was. Maybe, I think he hit himself on the knee, his left knee, with the butt of his handle. Well done. As we watch that again, serve and volley tennis at its best on clay. And an easy forehand cross-court winner. It's been most effective to the backhand here. There he goes again. Yes, a good reflex backhand volley winner.
And so, John McEnroe, fighting off 2 break points, holds together, responds with a critical service ace, wins the game. We'll be right back.
I doubt if he'll go the whole year without a loss.
For a while, I thought the Tigers would.
There it is. There it is. That's McEnroe's bread and butter approach shot. The forehand cross court.
What you talked about before the match.
Yes, that's his. It's unconventional, but he has got such a good forehand that he can do it. It opens up the court so much, and if the footing is slippery here, gets a weak return.
First. Ball, please.
He was stuck in traffic coming here. Didn't get here until 15 minutes
Yes.
before the match, Lendl.
Good, John. Oh!
I trust you heard that.
Yes.
Good, John. Oh, in utter self-disgust. You never did that.
No. No, I didn't do that too often. Should have. Just back.
Well, John, it was out, and you're really disgusted with yourself because you were careless.
Yeah. As we take a look at that shot again, and it hidden a little bit, but ooh, yes, I think it was just out. Yes. Good call. There's Lendl's second ace of the match.
40-15.
Lendl has 2. John has 4.
Don't know why he won't serve and volley every once in a while, just to do something different, just to surprise him. The wind blowing that way, blew it over the baseline. There's McEnroe's coach, as I said earlier, famed Mexican Davis Cup star, Antonio Palafox, who teaches right here at the famous Port Washington Tennis Academy. That's another no ace. Our statistician Steve Flink says McEnroe got a piece of it.
So they're tied at 3 games apiece.
3-all.
And John will serve.
Now we're at what Bill Tilden called the vital seventh.
Bill Tilden, age of the French Musketeers. You were here in 28.
Yes.
Barotra, Lacoste, and Cochet came in.
Well.
Yes.
Watch that one.
That's Lendl at his best. With that dead late passing game.
I also think Lendl now is starting to pick McEnroe's second serves, even his first serves. He's starting to be a bit more effective in returning McEnroe's serve. He knows McEnroe's going to come in about 40% of the time anyway, as we look at the twice as many winners for McEnroe as for Lendl. That's a very good serve.
That is what McEnroe seems to have the unfailing capacity to do in his present form, where he hasn't lost
right
a match
now.
this
Yes.
year. Come back with the key service that propels him right back in command of the opponent.
And it also restores his confidence. That's a good serve down the middle. Keeps jamming him, not going to either side.
I'm really not worried about John's confidence. As I said to him yesterday when you were down interviewing Lendl after Lendl's victory over Connors, he's become the Bernard King in confidence.
Well, there's no question you can get in the zone and for a while, a period, and just play out of your mind, so to speak. And it won't last forever, though. While it does, ride it out.
Now that's a remarkable passing shot because that was a fine serve.
It was a good serve. We're watching fast court tennis here now. John's having a little chat with a spectator there who wants to encourage Lendl, and John said, wait till he gets on this side to start talking to him. Well, there's no sawdust down there now like there was at the U.S. Open, so I don't think he's going to throw. Besides, the wind's blowing the other way.
It's a critical serve right here. He's got to make sure. He did. And so again, John McEnroe, with some little difficulty, holds together. We would have liked to have had in the National Football League. Back to tennis, Arthur.
No, 9-11. Love 15.
Now that was a low percentage from back there, shot.
Yes, he was trying to hit a very heavy underspin. Couldn't quite get enough stick on it. Too anxious, tried to make it too fine.
15 all.
Nobody's perfect.
No? We'll try. That's an ace, unquestionably.
It is really incredible the way he's developed his service over the past 3 years.
Most Europeans develop their serves late. Lendl was no exception. It's 100% better than it was 4 years ago. That's so, it got the outside edge of the line. And John is able to do that because he has such a compact backswing. Watch him with this shot to the forehand. He only brings his racket back halfway, so that guides the ball down the line for a winner.
And we're at 30 all. Fine match.
See, McEnroe is camping at the net. Lendl has come up twice, but he has a 50% winning record there. McEnroe's higher, 67%, so his strategy is paying off so far.
So we are at deuce as McEnroe looks for the one service break that would give him at this point in the first set a very big edge. Attendance 13,262, I think.
Almost full. That's a great serve.
John thought it was a fault, which doesn't make it a fault.
Right. So much for John's thoughts on that one. That was right in the corner. Oh, and he got a piece of the racket out of it. Not a very clean hit, but nevertheless very effective.
And nevertheless, another evidence of the great athlete that Yvonne is and his ability to cover the court.
We watched that, and McEnroe tries a cross court. He just gets his racket on it, drops it in. But why, being such a good athlete, why won't he take advantage of it? Why won't he do what Martina does? Come to the net, use that big 6'2" range of his. He's come to the net twice this match.
I've never been engaged as a tennis coach.
I was looking for corroboration.
Fault, he called that?
That was a fault.
We're at 4 games apiece. John McEnroe's serving. We're getting the kind of tennis you would expect from maybe now, today, the 2 greatest players in the world.
Yes, very well done. And the ideal place to do it.
That very drop shot
midcourt.
was watch the touch right here.
Half a stroke. And notice he follows it up to the net. That is, he doesn't hit it and run back like so many amateur players do.
And this is what so impressed you about McEnroe's performance yesterday on clay.
31.
Can't wait to see John have a bad call against him and Davis Cup playing Atlanta the week after Wimbledon, and watch to see what you do.
Oh, 2 good reflex volleys, but the winner is for McEnroe.
How are you going to go?
Watch that half volley drop shot again. So well done.
Look at that.
Good
He was ready
reflex.
that time.
Yes, but
guessed
Lendl
right.
didn't move after he got to the ball. He just stood there.
Goodbye. And so John McEnroe holds service, and he leads in a very evenly fought battle, 5-4. Everyone playing on service.
5 games to 4.
Receiving, serving, and trailing 5 games to 4.
Just wide. But John's going to press the issue at match game here. And Lendl knows it. That if he misses a first serve this game, John's going to chip and come in.
Goodbye.
Well said. Don't know why Lendl won't take one of those and come in, as we watched John put away that left-handed overhead of his.
Does your position as Davis Cup captain prohibit you from helping Lendl?
No, not really. Ooh, that would have been a hell of a shot.
So there is approaching trouble, if not already there, for Ivan Lendl, trailing 15-30 in a game that were McEnroe to win it would give McEnroe the first set.
I think if Lendl misses his first serve, this game may be over. Just wide.
So we have a 2 break point situation here.
2 set points.
2 set points.
Right.
Going with it.
And though it says double break point, it's looking at. Oh, hit the top of the tape. Very close. A temporary reprieve for Ivan Lendl.
Yeah, but a remarkable get by McEnroe.
Yes.
On the overhead slam by Lendl. Smash, I should say.
Well, they used to call it slam.
I know.
In your day.
Yes. When Perry reigns supreme.
They just named one of the gates at Wimbledon for Fred Perry. Only player in their history to win 3 U.S. titles and 3 Wimbledon titles. And that's it.
That's it.
The first set is history.
And Ivan Lendl, who had a cakewalk yesterday against a very great player, Jimmy Connors, who was clearly subpar, but Lendl was utterly dominating. Ivan Lendl discovers in this first set he's got a different kettle of fish to cook today.
Why did Lendl follow that up? Oh, why, he should have been at the net. Ball goes over your opponent's head. You get up there. Gave away the advantage.
The exasperations of a coach.
Yes. Picturing myself as Lendl's coach. Would have made him run a couple of laps for that. And you shouldn't even wait to see if it goes in. You have to assume that it's going to go in and just get up there. Ooh, that hit the back of the line. There's no question that ball was good. No question, it was good.
Okay,
The umpire now.
Do you have a mark? She does not have the mark. It
She
really
says she does not have the mark.
She can't pick it up. She can't pick it out from the other.
Now, I'll have to agree with McEnroe here because the ball leaves a clear mark on clay. And,
Watch this, and I think you'll see that it hears it. Hey, hits it, leaves a mark.
It hit the back edge of the line.
Certainly.
We can see the mark very clearly from here.
Right.
30-15.
I thought the linesperson was wrong for not getting up to check the mark.
I think the umpire, Paul Malloy, should have directed it to.
Yes, he should have.
It's 5 service aces in this contest thus far for John McEnroe.
That also may have hit the back of the line, although neither is contesting it.
Game McEnroe.
All right, McEnroe compelling at the moment. We'll be back and see how he reacts to the pressure he now faces. He can help there, Arthur.
Yes. Do what? The first set stats there.
14
Unforced
winners
errors.
and unforced errors. McEnroe with 11 in the latter category.
Tried to make it too fine over the higher part of the net.
And his edge in unforced errors is due to that kind of perhaps over-aggressiveness.
I would expect that today, though. I think John's going to make some errors because he's going to be offensive. Well done. The unforced errors category on clay can be a little misleading if you're talking about a very offensive player, as we watch that point again. Because if you are very offensive and you try things on clay, you're going to make more mistakes trying. But you hope to get more winners out of it.
Second time in the match that John has blown a shot in exactly that manner.
That far. Court's at least 20% faster than it was yesterday.
Critical game for Ivan. Remember, I wouldn't use the word John used yesterday. He talked about Ivan choking in past U.S. Opens. Used the word, very strong word, that directly, but no matter. Point is that we might have seen what we've seen in the past from Lendl when his game has collapsed to a degree had he lost that game.
That's true. It could have been more of a downward spiral there, but back even in the second set. What Lendl needs not only to get back into this match, but for his confidence is a break. He hasn't broken McEnroe yet in this match.
As long as McEnroe, and you talked about this before the match, can execute those sharply angled precision shots, it'll be very difficult for Lendl.
John's playing like this is a fast court. Just wide. He wants to take a peek at that one.
I don't blame him. He's got that right, and I thought it was in.
Well, two that he has contested, I think he was correct on.
I don't
You want him to check it? I'm looking at a mark that's out. You want him to check it? All right. Do you have a mark, Doc? Do you have the mark?
He's asking the center service lines person to come and take a peek. Got to point at the same mark. Let's hope they point at the same mark. John is saying that's a different mark. This is a classic demonstration of what goes on around
the mark, but part of the ball's in. He picked the exact mark it was, but a part of it's in.
He's judging it out.
John is saying that that center service lines person picked the correct mark, but the mark also was partly in. Oh, that looks
I'm
right
sorry,
smack
that
on the
ball
line.
was in, and I saw it was in, and I don't blame McEnroe a bit for that one.
To err is human.
All right, enough now, John. Back to the contest. Concentrate.
He's one of the few players, though, when he gets mad, he plays better. Sometimes. I don't think Lendl has yet assumed that sort of a hangdog look that he gets every once in a while. That he's not out of it by any means in this match yet.
But he's got a premonition.
That's why.
40-15.
Even Jack Kramer says.
Lendl has changed. Sorry, Lendl has changed his tactics now. He's standing at least 5 yards behind the baseline.
I was about to say, even Jack Kramer has said no man ever came to this sport with more talent than McEnroe.
I believe it.
Lord knows Jack had it.
Not even close.
40-30.
Talking about the very talented players, Art Larson. Of course, Martina Navratilova was still very talented. Althea Gibson was a great athlete.
And in 56, when she won Wimbledon, you said she'd never make it.
Yeah. Just wide.
And so McEnroe holds service. Lendl has yet to break service in this fine match. McEnroe leading 2-1.
We're back in this fourth game, Howard. Second set. Just wide. McEnroe wants to close out this match. Won the first set 6-4, in case you joined us late. As we're looking at these net approaches again, Lendl has been to the net 6 times. Effective 50% of the time. McEnroe very effective.
I think that's the graphic that tells the story.
So far.
No, you don't miss that ever again.
He said, no, you don't miss that every game.
He's quite capable of unwitting high humor.
Low humor, too, sometimes. What's this? A drop shot from Ivan Lendl.
Do you detect a change in Lendl's demeanor?
A little bit. The last game I saw it, and I'm seeing it a little bit. I'm wondering why he waited so long to try it, but he hit the drop shot, then he stood in no man's land, which was crazy. You either go up or stay back. You don't stand in the middle of the court. Then again, who am I to say? That's going to fall in. Ooh, that looked...
I thought
good.
that was good, and I don't blame you, Ivan.
But they said it was out.
And I asked you about his facial demeanor because I've seen that look before.
Yes.
He is now getting troubled, and he is beginning not to play the game that he can play.
But he had such a great match yesterday. He's got to be feeling fairly confident after that 6-love rout of Jimmy Connors. Trying to cut it too fine.
Over eager.
But he's very close. Each time he missed, the last couple of times he's tried that, he's only missed by an inch or so.
That's like getting the ball to the 1-inch line.
Yes.
Not getting it in. So. Two fine returns by McEnroe. And Lendl impatient.
Yes, when you hit your best shot, as Lendl hit that forehand just then, and it comes back, you try to bit harder the next time, and
Second break point.
the result was an error.
Trouble.
Yes.
There it is.
Now, this is the point, if you watch that last point again, underspin backhand and another backhand from McEnroe to put the game away for his first break of the second set.
So, John leads 3-1, enjoys the service break edge, and said we could sense a change in Lendl's facial demeanor.
First saw it at 1-all, so now I think it's, we'll just see if he's going to fight back here. McEnroe wins his match, he's got to think very well of his chances at the French, which is also played on clay.
Slowest, even slow play. Slow play.
McEnroe's fourth double fault, and he had 4 yesterday in his 6-1, 6-2 win over Jimmy Arias, who was one of our country's best clay court players, having won the Italian last year. Nicely done.
Only other American to win the Italian.
Barry McKay, recently, 1960.
What about a fellow named Carolinas?
Yes, beat us recently.
Yes.
And the last American to win the French?
To win the French? Oh, my.
Tony Traber.
Yes.
29 years ago.
Mentioned it yesterday, in fact. Lovely ceremony here for Tony Traber, a great friend, many years, at the Forest Hills Award.
So McEnroe continues his service domination. The wind has died down just a little bit now. No, McEnroe welcomes that. He likes playing indoors better than any other place.
Six service aces for John in this match. That can undo a double fault in a hurry.
Yes. Restores your confidence. That's another one. No question. That ball was inside the line. We're seeing an exhibition here.
That's what you're seeing now is the greatest tennis player in the world, and one of the greatest who has yet lived at the top of his game on clay. We'll be back. As Arthur noted a few games back, began to waver.
Mentally, I saw him start to go at 1-all, and now it's...
You could see it. It was
Yes,
etched in the
yes.
visage, in your words.
Right. My words exactly. Face looks screwed up also. Yes. Slipped in. I wonder what he's thinking now after having beaten Jimmy Connors yesterday. 6-love, and now he's 1 but 5 games from John McEnroe.
I would really like to see him come back. For his own sake.
I'm anxious now as his Davis Cup captain to see what John does when he's in this position, being up, set in a break.
Good Lord. What a time for a double.
The first double fault for Ivan Lendl.
There is no time ever for a double fault, but there are times when it can be catastrophic. But look at that.
Crowd trying to get him on. Lendl's 4th ace.
30-40.
Still break point for McEnroe. And another break. And now truly, even on clay, John McEnroe has a commanding lead, not only in this set, but in the match. 5-1.
It's almost reminiscent, the quickness of Lendl's decline of game to the U.S. Open.
That's right.
All right, Arthur, will you shoot down there?
I'll talk to the winner on maybe the end of the next game.
Okay. John serving. Fault. Leading 5 games to 1 after having won the first set, 6-4. And we are in a best of 3 sets. In this final, the winner to get $100,000, the runner-up $40,000. That's the 5th double fault for John McEnroe in this match. So, it is love 15. And suddenly, a ray of hope for Lendl, love 30. John losing concentration for a brief instant, actually taking his eye off the ball, over eager. That was a startling statistic. 16 of his last 17 approaches he had won. And his serve and volley game, his approaches, have been the story of this match. suddenly it is love 40 and a triple break situation, as Lendl, after appearing disconsolate in the last 4 games, has suddenly assumed the upper hand, at least in this game. At the moment. Yes, for this game. And so it is 5 games to 2. McEnroe having won the first set on this glorious Mother's Day in New York, will be back. And he's got a long way to come. But suddenly another ball netted by McEnroe, who seems to have fallen prey abruptly to a great deal of impatience, maybe oversensing the victory that appeared totally at hand. Heard the crowd. The play of that point spoke for itself. McEnroe employing court artistry there. Lendl trying to hold service. Another part of the story. The winners, McEnroe 22, Lendl 7. The unforced errors reflective of the pure aggressiveness, sometimes over-aggressiveness, of John McEnroe. McEnroe seems to have calmed himself down, pacing himself, and at 30 all, looking for it beautifully in, as you saw. Fine passing shot. Looking for the victory. And now he has the chance. Break point, and it would be match point. Not yet. Lendl fighting back, struggling to establish a shift in tide. McEnroe would not give in. Lendl with a driving shot deep to the baseline in the corner, but McEnroe coming right back, and Lendl not expecting it. So we are back to a break point and a match point. But no. And so, for the 3rd time, a chance for John to end it. Some of the crowd not happy with that call. But No objection from Lendl. No complaints there. Clearly a fault. And that is it. Hardly the way you would want a match to end with two such distinguished players on the court. But it happens, and you could see it happening to Ivan Lendl some 4 or 5 games ago. We'll be back with more tennis and an interview with the winner, John McEnroe, by Arthur Ashe from Forest Hills after this message and a word from our local stations.
And I don't think anybody here is surprised at the way you've played after you've had such a brilliant year. How do you explain how you've played so far?
I don't know. I've been relatively healthy, which helps a lot, and things have been going really well. I feel like I'm getting stronger physically, and that's helped my game. And serving, I've improved my percentage, and everything just is falling into place. The fact that I was able to beat 2 good clay court players here makes me feel better about my chances going over to Europe.
What about the French now coming up?
Well, it's going to be a really tough tournament. I mean, I think there's about 6 or 7 people that could win the tournament. But at this point, there's no real favorite. I know that over in Europe, Yannick lost a couple days ago in the tournament there, and Wielander lost. So it's really hard to tell who the favorite is going in. But I think any of 6 or 7 people can win it.
Most people say it's almost impossible to win the French, not preparing, say, 2 or 3 weeks ahead of time. Do you agree with that?
Hopefully not. You know, I've been playing here on clay the last couple of weeks, and I have 2 more weeks of practice on clay, and hopefully that'll be enough. I'm going to be playing an event in Germany, the Nations Cup for America, and hopefully that'll get me ready. If it doesn't work this year that way, I'll try something else next year.
Quite a few of the players have been saying, especially Jimmy Connors in the past week, that the schedule is too full. Does that surprise you that you hear him say that?
No, it doesn't surprise me. I think there are way too many events. 4 or 5 people can't possibly support the amount of events there are. And Jimmy is an example of a person who's played too much, and if he plays too much, he loses his intensity level, and I think that's what's part of his problem right now. He's not as intense on the court as he usually is.
Howard and I noticed, coming back to this event here during the matches all week, that you were very offensive, playing almost as if you were playing on a grass court or indoors on Supreme Court. Is that the way you plan to play in clay in the next couple of weeks?
If I can, yeah, I'm going to try to play that way. As the footing's really key. If I feel like I'm moving well, I'll try that. But that's really my game, so it's not really that smart to do something that's totally different from my game. So I'm going to try to play the way I play best.
Well, best of luck to you. Congratulations. You certainly played outstanding tennis today.
All right, Arthur, thanks a lot.
Howard? Ivan, quite a big difference from yesterday's 6-love rout of Jimmy Connors. What happened?
Well, you know, John was serving well, and I couldn't do with his serve what I intended to do, and you know, that's a big difference. If you can't return the guy's serve on clay, then it's quite difficult to stay in the match, because on clay courts you're going to get broken sooner or later, and if you don't break him, you're out of there.
I and some of the other pressmen in the press room were wondering why you don't, say, serve and volley a bit more on clay, because your serve has improved greatly in the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, you know, I don't feel so comfortable with my serve right now. I have had some problems with it in the last 10 days, and I was happy I was getting it in.
Yes, I guess you would. What does this do for your confidence right now?
This doesn't do anything really, Arthur. I mean, you know...
After a 6-love rout of Jimmy yesterday?
Well, I came into this tournament after an injury, and I wasn't expecting quite a lot, and you know, obviously I'm disappointed I lost today, but I'm happy the way I played yesterday, and that I made the finals. And if you told me before this tournament that I was going to get into the finals, I would be very happy, and I think I should stick with it, even if I'm disappointed with today's loss.
Thank you. Good luck. Best of luck to you. French 2 weeks. Howard?
All right, thank you very much, Arthur. Thank you, Yvonne, for your graciousness in talking with Arthur.